Yes, thank you, please. I come from NorSafe Academy, which is a part of NorSafe Group. NorSafe Group is one of the largest companies in the world with regards to lifeboats, servicing, and also now training. Let's see if I can find this. But that was the sales section of it, and I was heavily introduced and that this should be educational. So let's go directly to educational stuff. 23 years ago, I signed on this, these two boats, as you can see, as a deck officer. And that was a very strange thing with regards to lifeboats, because they never had any exercises with lifeboats. When I asked for, are we not going to have an exercise and train and do things with the lifeboats? Well, that was just too dangerous, everyone said. So, okay, so we never did anything, we never learned anything, we never practiced anything, we never lowered the lifeboats, we never learned anything with a lifeboat. So who would know what would have happened if we actually had to use them at some point? But their reason was very clear, and that is because they just had a sister vessel the year before I attended. They had lost their crew members, several people were killed, and this was a typical lifeboat accident that has been many times over the years. And as you can see from the clip, from the report, it's a little hard to read maybe, but poor maintenance and lack of training and knowledge was the cause of the accident. So, 10 years after, and this is kind of what we see with these lifeboats, it takes a long, long time. 10 years after, there is a conclusion in a report from IMO saying that there are 7 reasons why there are lifeboat accidents. One of them is failure of onload release mechanisms. One is also the use of onload release mechanisms. But you also have inadequate maintenance of lifeboat davits and launching equipment. So let's have a little look at that. Coming from NorSafe, we also have a servicing company with worldwide presence. And in these hours, you could see a lot of examples of bad maintenance. The pictures that you can see here is all examples of maintenance that would have caused a major accident if they were going to use the lifeboat. And we can try to find, okay, what is the reason? Lack of competency is bad maintenance. But it's not competency. They can also see that it's rusted away. But the lack of competency is that they don't have the competency enough to understand the risk they are putting to themselves. And that is the lack of competency. Everyone can see that this is bad maintenance, but the risk element to it, talking of risk balancing, and also having, like one of the previous speakers was talking about putting up barriers, this is definitely a barrier that should have been in place. So what is the results? Well, okay, we had years with lifeboat accidents, and as you can see, pictures talk for themselves. Bad maintenance causes accidents. So, what did the international society do with this? Well, as you can see, the 7 reasons are still there, and there were new circulars coming up. And the first one, failure of onload release mechanism, has been handled. Actually, the entire world fleet are now required to replace their onload release hooks with new approved hooks. And that is an MSC Circular 1392, which was effected a few years ago, and it's still under effect. It's not completed yet. So that is the international way of handling number 1. Number 2, well, no solution yet. Number 3, maintenance. In MSC Circular 1206, Annex 1, it calls for annual inspections of, and to be conducted on all lifeboat equipment, and also conducted by authorized and trained personnel. So that has also been one of the measurements that has been introduced. But let's have a look at the rest. In 2009, there was a concentrated campaign in the Paris MOU area with port states controls, and they revealed that 1 out of 8 drills, when conducted, was not performed satisfactorily, which is really a lot, meaning that when they actually are forced to do a drill, they don't know how to do it, which is then leading again to dangerous situations. Port States Control have been active for a long time, and just to show a little trend on the LSA deficiencies, which was presented earlier also today. This is in the Paris MOU area, Europe, number of deficiencies per inspection. And as you can see, in the 80s, we had almost 20% of all inspections found deficiencies on the lifeboat equipment. But when we came down to 2002, 2003, well, we were more or less down to 8, 9, 10% of all inspections with deficiencies on the LSA. But the surprising part of this presentation is that all the measurements that we have seen introduced the last years, replacing of hooks, the STCW manual amendments requiring a lifeboat training every 5 years, a refresher course, the 1206 requiring annual inspection of lifeboat equipment, and also the conclusions of the ISM, which also was a conclusion when maybe we can place that around 2002. All these measurements have led to a stable 9% in this specific area of deficiencies of lifeboat equipment, which means that these measurements have not really been effective yet. But are they going to be effective? That's the big question, because life-saving appliances deficiency is still one of the top 5 categories for deficiencies in 2014. And now we have gone all the way from 2002 to 2014, and it's been stable all along. So it's approximately 9% of all port states inspections leads to something, maybe not detentions, but at least deficiencies on lifeboat equipment. Maybe the best and most important measure has still been not introduced. Maybe better training is what is required, because all accidents and all deficiencies and everything that's happened in the last 20 years has been conducted by trained personnel in accordance with the STCW requirements per today. I would say that the last points of the 7 points list of detentions and reasons for lifeboat accidents can be solved by better training. But then again, what is better training? Is that more training, or is it quality training? In my opinion, what else is differing better training from any training is just where you can get information, where you can learn from previous mistakes, where you can take in experiences from different parts, from different ships, not only being one ship's experience generated, but the world complete experience into one course. And that is something that we in NorSafe Academy aims to do something about, and take the experience from a complete service network and worldwide and a production and put it into coursing for lifeboat crew. So as you can see here, we have just started. NorSafe Academy is now positioned in Norway and in Greece, in Lavrio.